This video is special. It is not about how to do something, but rather explains what not to do. I feel this video is necessary because the approaches to object creation shown here are used a lot, unfortunately. After this video, you will be able to recognize those unfortunate approaches when you see them, and the following video will then explain what to do instead. So, what is the problem? When we need an instance of a class in our code, we usually add it as a constructor dependency to our class. But sometimes that isn't possible, and we need to create a new instance of a class in our code. There are many possible reasons why we might not be able to receive an object as a constructor dependency. Maybe the object isn't safe to share with other objects. Maybe we need more than one instance of the class. Maybe it is a non-injectable, or maybe not all the required information to instantiate the object is available during the instantiation of our class. To create a new object in PHP, the new keyword is used, like in this example here. Let's just try this out on the REPL. So every time getSomething is called, a new instance of something should be returned. As we can see in the changing object IDs, indeed a different instance is returned each time we call the getSomething method. So this actually does what we want. However, this pattern is discouraged in Magento because it bypasses many of the customization points that are available if an object is created through the ObjectManager. Also, it hides all the class dependencies in the code. It would be necessary to read through all the code and find all the places where new is used to know all the class dependencies. Maintenance gets harder, and also this only works so nicely in this example because the something class has no constructor dependencies. To work around these problems, many developers who are new to the Magento system add the ObjectManager as a constructor argument, and then call the create method to create a new instance of a class. So here's an example. ObjectManager is received as a constructor argument, and then ObjectManager create is called instead of new. Again, let's try this out in the REPL. And again, this also does what we want. Every call to getSomething returns a new object. And this time, the ObjectManager is used to create the new instances. So we no longer need to worry about constructor arguments of something or bypassing customization points. But again, this pattern of injecting the dependency injection container is discouraged in Magento because it also hides class dependencies in the code. We would have to read through the class and look for all usages of create to know the class dependencies. So that's very similar to using new directly. Also, this approach breaks static code analysis, as tools like PHP Code Sniffer or PHP Storm depend on type inference. Because ObjectManager create can return any class instance. Adding a PHP doc type hint fixes this, but badly, because comments are only facts waiting to become lies, as the famous quote goes. The same is true for the approach where the ObjectManager is accessed via the static method ObjectManager getInstance. So here the ObjectManager is not injected as a constructor dependency, but instead, using the getInstance method call, the ObjectManager is accessed and then create is called. This code has the same problems that the previous version had where the ObjectManager was injected as a constructor argument. So to summarize, in production code, the object manager should never be used. There are exceptions to this rules, namely integration tests, locators, backward compatibility, and factories. But in all other cases, there is a better way. The better way to handle object instantiation in code is through auto-generated factories, which are covered in the next video.